Hey foodies, welcome back to Tamara Recipes. So I prepared this delicious Sunday meal, so I want to share it with you. So let's get right into the video. So in the pot I have my cooked dry gungo peas. Alright, you can use whichever peas of your choice, but today a dry gungo may I use. Okay, so I have my fresh coconut milk in the blender, so I'm gonna give it a strain, add it to the pot, and then I return. Now I like to add a little trash in my coconut, in my rice and peas, sorry, but it's completely optional. Alright, so I'm adding a piece of butter. No, you don't necessarily have to add butter, but the butter adds some flavor. Alright, so I'm gonna add some fresh seasoning, some thyme, scallion, garlic, my scratch bunny pepper, add some more pimento seeds, any natural season that you choose. Sometimes I even put some sweet pepper in it, but today I'm not add no sweet pepper. So guys, you just want to flavor your pot. And also I love to add ginger, but I don't remove the skin of the ginger. You could always do that, but for me just wash my ginger good, because you know the skin of the ginger has health benefits. Alright, so I don't waste it. Alright, so make sure you taste the pot, ensure you have enough flavor. You could also add some all-purpose season if you choose, but for me I don't always do that. So I allow the coconut mixture to boil for about 10 minutes. So now I'm going to add my washed rice. Now bear in mind that you can use any rice of your choice. I'm using white rice. If you like, you could always use a parboiled rice. So boiling the mixture together, bring out the flavors and make your rice and peas taste good. Alright guys, so ensure that you give it some time to boil, just for all the flavors to come together. Alright, so at this point I realized that I have too much liquid. Now bear in mind guys that when you're cooking a rice, don't be afraid to remove some of the liquid. Alright, it's best to have less liquid, and then I could add a little bit more than to have too much liquid and it spoil the rice. So that amount of liquid is fine, so I'm gonna cover the pot and let it steam. Alright guys, so the rice and peas is all done. I'm just gonna remove all the natural seasoning, gonna fluff up the rice, and then after doing so I am going to set it aside. Alright, now this is not a detailed video. The detailed video I will leave the link in the description box where you can check it out. Okay guys, so guys, rice and peas is looking amazing. Yes guys, so in my bowl I have my nicely washed chicken. Now I'm using my pieces of choice. I'm using leg, thigh, breast. So these are my seasoning. I have some ginger, garlic, and pimento powder. I have garlic powder, paprika, Maggi all-purpose, and chicken seasoning. I also added some black pepper and a pinch of salt. Now you could always use these type of seasoning, or if you like, you could always use seasonings of your choice. Now I'm gonna mix all the seasoning together so that I can blend the flavors together. Afterwards I'm going to add the seasoning onto my chicken. Now for the recipe, I am going to add all of this seasoning because I want to ensure that I season the chicken, give the chicken enough flavor. Alright, so I'm gonna use my clean hands. Remember, we don't use dirty in our kitchen, so I'm gonna use my nice clean hands, rub in the seasoning. Afterwards I'm gonna set it aside for it to marinate. Now I'm gonna marinate for about half an hour. You can do so overnight, but ensure that when you place your chicken in the fridge, you remove it from the fridge about an hour and allow it to thaw before you fry it. Alright, because you don't want your chicken to be trashy. Now for the recipe, I'm not gonna be using any milk, I'm not gonna be using any eggs. So with chicken I'm gonna fry nice and crispy same way without anything like that. Alright, so after about an half an hour, I have some flour in the bowl. I am going to add some baking powder to the flour mixture. Also added some paprika, all-purpose seasoning, chicken seasoning, black pepper, and the garlic powder. I also added a pinch of salt because the salt add flavor. Alright, so I am going to add the baking powder, guys. I totally forgot to add it before I start mixing the dry ingredients together. So I'm going to add it, alright? So I added like a teaspoon. Now we're going to mix. So make sure you mix it properly, guys. Because you know want some parts of the flour to have the seasoning and then some parts don't have it. Alright? So make sure you mix to combine all the dry ingredients together. And then we're going to start coating our chicken. I sometimes add my chicken into like a Ziploc bag or into a covered dish. But today I just couldn't bother, so I just use the dish here. But I realized that it was getting too messy, but I couldn't bother to change the container. So you could always use a bigger container, guys. I honestly wasn't realizing until I start coat the chicken in the flour. Alright. So at this point, ensure that you're preheating your oil. Now I'm gonna fry mine in a pot. So I'm gonna add the oil to my liking. Alright. So guys, today I choose to deep fry my chicken. So I'm gonna add relatively amount of oil. You know some people them all use like 3/4 pot of oil, but me not use so much. Alright. Once it's enough to cover the chicken, then that's fine for me. So how you know when the oil hot? If you're not using a thermometer, you just sprinkle some flour in the pot, or you can use a wooden spoon, and once it starts frying, then you know your oil hot enough. Alright, so I'm just gonna fry 3 pieces at a time, and I'm gonna use a medium high flame. You don't want the flame to be too high, because you know guys, if the flame too high, then your chicken are gonna fry too fast, and then the inside not gonna fry. Alright, you're gonna eat raw chicken, so bear that in mind. Now after about 8 minutes, I'm gonna turn the chicken to the other side. Now you want your chicken to fry nice, guys, as I was saying. So you want to ensure that it gets enough time to fry, but at the same time you don't want it to over fry and then it become dry and trashy. Alright, so may I just allow the other side to fry, and then when it's time for me to remove them from the pot, then I return. Now guys, okay guys, so the chicken is all done frying. I allow them to fry for maybe about 12 to 16 minutes. Yes, so I'm just removing them from the pot. Now you can always place yours on a wire rack, or you can use some paper towel and place it on a plate. Yeah, whichever way, but make sure you remove some of that oil. Alright, now if you like, you could always fry your chicken with the skin. I don't really like frying my chicken with the skin, guys, because I normally throw the skin, so I'm gonna fry mine with the skin. However, you could always do it if you like, but for me, I'm gonna use a skin. Alright, so this is the end product. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm having mine with some steamed cabbage. I will leave a steamed cabbage recipe that you could watch in the description box. Also, I made some gravy to go with the rice, because I don't like dry rice, guys. Yes, so this is my dinner. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please comment below. I love to hear from you. And also, you could always comment and tell me what recipe you like to see me make. Please also share the video on your social media platforms, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you're new and turn on all notifications. Stay blessed.